All right, welcome everyone. Today we're going to dive into something fascinating, the invisible universe that surrounds every single organization. We're talking about the powerful forces that can make or break a company, a lot of times without anyone inside ever seeing them coming.
Okay, just a quick heads up before we jump in. This explainer is purely for educational purposes. It's based on lecture materials for the University of Colombo's MBA program, specifically for Group 2, Team 4, from the lecture on October 18, 2025. All credit goes to the University of Colombo for the source material.
So, let's kick things off with a big question. Does a business really exist in a vacuum? When you think about a company, do you just picture its offices, its logo, and its employees? Well, the answer is a big no. No organization is an island, not even close.
So, to really get a grip on this, we need to be on the same page about what an organization even is. At its heart, it's not just a building. It's a social thing, a group of people structured in a certain way, all pushing toward the same goal.
And if that's the organization, then the environment, well, that's literally everything else. Everything outside its walls that could possibly affect it. We're talking about anything from a single customer's complaint to a massive tech breakthrough happening halfway around the world.
All right, let's start our tour from the inside out, beginning with the organization's core. This is the stuff that's happening within the company's own walls.
So what's in here? This is the organization's home base, right? It's made up of the owners who have skin in the game, the board of directors who steer the ship, the employees who make everything happen, and even the physical space they all work in.
But there's also this invisible force field inside every company, and that's its corporate culture. Think of it like the organization's personality. It's the unspoken rules, the shared beliefs that hold "this is how we do things here" vibe. Okay, now let's take one step right outside the front door. We're going to look at the people and groups the company bumps into every single day. These aren't far-off ideas. They're direct, daily connections.
This area is what we call the task environment. You can think of it as the company's immediate neighborhood. And managing these relationships, it's not just important, it's absolutely critical for survival.
So who are the neighbors? Well, you've got your customers, the whole reason you're in business. Then there are your competitors, always fighting for the same piece of the pie. You have the suppliers you lean on for everything you need, and of course, the labor market where you find your talent. Every single one has a direct, daily impact. All right, we've seen the inside and the immediate neighborhood. Now it's time to zoom way out. Let's look at the huge, unseen forces that shape not just your company, but entire industries. This is what's known as the general environment, and these are like the massive ocean currents. No single ship can change them, but every single ship has to learn how to sail in them or risk getting swept away.
So what are we talking about here? We're talking about big stuff, like the overall health of the economy, new laws and political shifts, major changes in society and culture, global events, and of course, the big one, technology, which is always changing.
Okay, so we've mapped this whole universe, from the culture inside to the global economy outside. That brings us to the big question. How on earth does an organization actually navigate all this complexity and succeed? The single biggest challenge that this whole environment throws at you is uncertainty. It's just the unknown. How can you make smart decisions when the world outside is always shifting under your feet? How do you plan for a future you can't even see clearly?
Well, the answer lies in this really powerful idea called environmental contingency theory. And what it basically says is this: there's no one-size-fits-all way to run a company. The best, most successful organizations are the ones that can shape their internal structure to perfectly match what's going on outside.
And this matrix here really breaks down that idea of uncertainty. See, it's not just one thing. It's really about two key questions. How many things are out there affecting you, and how fast are those things changing? Simple and slow, low uncertainty. Complex and fast-moving, you guessed it, that's high uncertainty territory.
And this is where the rubber meets the road. This slide shows how companies actually do it. In a stable, predictable world, a rigid, almost machine-like structure, what we call mechanistic, is super efficient. But in a chaotic, dynamic environment, you need to be more like a living thing, an organic structure, flexible, adaptable, and ready to move fast.
So, how do they pull this off? Well, the smartest organizations are always adapting in three key ways. First, they manage information. They're constantly scanning the horizon for what's coming. Second, they respond strategically, changing their game plan to dodge threats or jump on new opportunities. And third, sometimes they team up, using mergers or alliances to get stronger together.
Which leaves us with one final big idea to chew on. If the world is always changing, and it is, then the job of understanding and adapting to it, well, it's never really done, is it? For any organization out there, the second you stop adapting is the second you start fading away.